I saw a comment under one of our videos that deserves a little daylight. It went something like this: people are leaving the country because of Trump. Farmers are losing their legal workers to ICE raids. Trade is collapsing. The quality of life in America is bottoming out. And if you don't see it, you're a moron who will end up starving when your 401k disappears. It was something like that. There's a lot of rage packed in just a paragraph or so. So let's unpack it. First, the idea that people are literally packing up and fleeing America because of Donald Trump. Well, that's mostly social media and theater, uh, and we've heard it all before. Hollywood celebrities threatening to move to Canada, and Whoopi Goldberg is still here. Neighbors claiming they're going to renounce their citizenship, but when the dust settles, almost nobody actually does. Immigration is hard. It's expensive. It's life altering. People don't give up much of their house and their job and their family just because they dislike the president. Second, the claim about farmers. Whew. The comment that farmers are losing their quote legal workers because ICE is raiding their farms. Now the sentence collapses under its own weight. ICE does not round up legal workers, okay? What they do is enforce existing immigration law, which has been ignored for decades. The fact is that much of America's agriculture has learned and leaned on undocumented or illegal immigrants for years. I live here in Florida. I see it all the time. And when enforcement shows up, it does create pain. That is true. But let's not twist it in some sort of stormtroopers, kidnapping legal workers. That's just not true. That's theater. Third, the economy. The commenter says that Trump is going to sever all trade and destroy the supply lines. Now, look, under Trump, trade policies absolutely shifted. Absolutely. Tariffs went up. Absolutely. There were disputes with China. Absolutely. Europe. Absolutely. Even Canada. Absolutely. Some industries took hits. Yes. Some benefited. But the idea that the U.S. Economy is collapsing because of Trump just doesn't match the record. It just doesn't. Before COVID, unemployment was at a record low. Wages were growing. The stock market was hitting all-time highs. Families were doing better, not worse. Did everyone win? No. But destroying the economy? That's fantasy. Fourth, this whole quality of life claim. The commenter insists that America's already had one of the lowest quality of life ratings before Trump. Huh? That's an interesting talking point, but it's not true. By global measures, the US ranks in the middle of the wealthy nations pack. We're not number one in every metric, but one of the lowest? No. That's pure exaggeration, meant to score emotional points, not to actually inform you of anything. And finally, the personal insult. There's always a personal insult. You're 64. You'll be broke. You'll be starving. You'll lose your mortgage. That's not a debate. That's wishing harm on someone. Me. That's not conviction. It's bitterness. If your argument is strong, you do not need to attack someone's age, retirement, intelligence if your argument is strong. Here's the reality: millions of Americans disagreed with Trump, millions of Americans supported him, and millions are somewhere in between. That's politics. That's, that's the democracy they keep talking about. But the idea that people are so triggered by one person in the White House, they're going to give up their entire lives, selling everything, running for the exits, that's really not happening. That's a tantrum dressed up as a moral stand. Let's be clear about this thing they call empathy. Empathy doesn't mean exaggerating reality until it collapses under its own contradictions. Empathy means caring about people while still telling the truth. If farms depend on illegal labor, we should care about the workers and fix the system so it's legal, safe, and fair. If trade policy hits certain industries, We should care about them and then strengthen America's negotiating position. But none of that requires screaming, name calling, or stormtrooping fantasies. So my answer to that comment is simple. Disagree all you want. Criticize Trump all you want. That's America. But don't confuse emotional venting with reality. And don't confuse leaving a YouTube comment with leaving the country. One is easy, and the other almost never happens.